Hey guys, Joe Biden just gave us a very Joe Biden moment. He was asked as he was, I guess, leaving the White House or coming to the White House, are the airstrikes on the Houthis working? And his reaction was, when you say are they working, is it making them stop? No. But will we continue them? Yes. What do you even say to that? What do you even say to that?
What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, it's complete insanity. Now we're unconstitutionally bombing Yemen repeatedly. I think we've done 4 separate rounds of strikes at this point, with the knowledge that our actions are not going to achieve the supposedly intended result.
And he just said that. He said that.
Right.
That's not Crystal speaking, that's not me speaking. He just said that.
And in fact, we know it's made things worse. The Houthis have escalated their attacks. Concern about shipping containers over the lives of Palestinian children. Well, guess what? Now that the Red Sea is an even more active war zone, guess what? Shipping containers don't want to transit through there. So you've achieved the exact opposite of your stated goals. And now you're admitting, it's not going to work. It didn't work. It's not going to work, but you're still going to do it. And the reason why is because the obvious solution, which is to achieve a ceasefire and force the Israelis to stop indiscriminately bombing Palestinian civilians. And indiscriminate bombing, by the way, those are Joe Biden's words, not my words, Joe Biden's words. Because you've taken that off the table. Instead, you have chosen to go through this bizarre pantomime of doing something about the Houthis, because to not would, I guess, you feel embarrassed. The hawks pressured you. Why? What are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, Jake made a good point about this. He said, and I'd never read this. Did you read this? That what the name of the mission was to go after the Houthis?
Yeah, I can't remember. Operation Prosperity Guardian.
Which is they're literally saying, this is about trade. This is about money. This is about, it's not about lives. It's not about, imminent defense of the nation, which is the bullshit argument they made to try to, skirt around Congress and do it unilaterally. So, I mean, it says it all. The name of what they're doing says it all. But now with Biden coming out there and saying, no, it's not working, but we're going to keep doing it. It's okay, so then what are we supposed to think about why you're doing it? Either it's the macho man, we gotta show them who's boss type stuff, or it's just straight up hey, military-industrial complex, there's a lot of war profiteering going on. We got to keep dropping those bombs. We got to keep, so we can keep making new ones. You know, what are we supposed to think?
Yeah, I mean, those are the only 2 conclusions you can draw, is that it's basically a foreign policy based on dick swinging. Well, they did something to us, so we got to do something back, even though clearly the obvious solution to all of this is a ceasefire, but that's off the table. So we just have to do something, even knowing that something is going to not only not work, but achieve the opposite of the effect that we supposedly want to achieve. There's a New York Times analysis that said, you haven't done anything to damage the Houthis' offensive capabilities, number 1. Number 2, even the Saudis are pissed with us because they were in the middle of a peace process with the Houthis, and they're upset that might be derailed. I was just covering today, Shell has now said also that part of the concern is supposedly gas prices going up. Well, when we started firing on the Houthis, gas prices immediately shot up because of that added risk and uncertainty, and Shell is saying there's no way we're going to transit through the Red Sea at this point. So it's just complete morons, insanity, psychopathy, take your pick, but none of it is any good.
And it would have been, if they had just not done anything vis-a-vis the Houthis, then what would have happened is it still would have been, in the overwhelming majority of cases, the ships that are stopped were going to Israel, right? Every now and then they would try to do it, and it would be an Israeli part owner of the ship, but the ship wasn't going to Israel, and so it was sort of a mistake to go after them, right? But in most cases, it would be, no, there's just going to be less trade with Israel, but we're going to allow the rest to go through. So global trade would only be affected in a limited way. And the kind of blocking that they're doing, I made this point before, is what the U.S. should be doing and what the UN should be doing if we actually gave a shit about international law and human rights and protecting Palestinian babies from being carpet bombed. We would be doing what the Houthis were doing, and we'd be doing it in a high-tech way to make sure we always stop the right ships, etc. But instead now, they decide to bomb, and then now more ships are being stopped. Now the whole route is shut down for everybody because it's an active war zone. And then Biden comes out himself and says, is it working in the sense that they're stopping? No. But will we continue? Yes. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. How does he let those words come out of his mouth without realizing, oh my God, I'm undermining my entire philosophy on this thing in a matter of 12 seconds to get the words out of my mouth?
Astonishing. Truly astonishing.